welcome back to Liz Sews and the next video in my Bra 101 series. The rest of Bra 101 will primarily focus on fit adjustments for your bra. So one of the most common fit adjustments that we have to make is moving the strap attachment point in the front of a bra. Maybe the bra is too wide of a neckline and so your straps are falling off. Maybe it's too close to the center and you want something that is a little more opened up. When we're looking at bra strap adjustments, there's really two methods that you can use, and I'm going to call them the cut and slide or the scoop technique. And as long as you know those two techniques, you should be able to move any strap attachment point. So in today's video, I'm going to show you on a couple different style bras how those techniques are utilized to move the strap attachment point. So the first one I'm going to look at is going to be utilizing the cut and slide technique. And what I have here is the Marlboro bra from Orange Lingerie. So in this instance, we have two pieces that are on the neckline. This is the upper cup, which is like typically a lace piece in that pattern, and then a power bar. And when this is sewn up, you can see that the strap will attach at this point here. So it's kind of a misnomer to think that all you have to do is alter this piece, because we also need to change this piece as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my power bar piece first and figure out where it interacts with the upper edge of this piece. In this case, the interaction point is right here where the seam line is indicated. All I'm going to do is cut across that seam line like so. So that's the cut of cut and slide. And then I'm just going to move it over or slide it on that same point. So when we're making these adjustments, it's really easy to think that or to just start out making really large adjustments, but I would recommend not really moving your strap attachment point any more than maybe about half of an inch at a time. Even if you think you need to move it a lot, those small changes tend to make huge differences on the body. So I would start small, no more than half of an inch, and then make up a test version and see if that's the way you like it to be, or it might just be fine. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to slide it, let's say, half of an inch or so. So I've maintained that same line here, but I've just moved that top cut piece over by a half of an inch. If you were doing this yourself, I would recommend taping this or something like that. So then you just need to copy it over. And what we're going to do is sort of blend this new strap attachment point back in with the piece that we already have. So what I'm going to do is sort of work at the very tippy toppy point of my piece there and blend it back into the bottom portion of the power bar piece. And ideally, I want to get it back in line by about the midpoint, which is again where this upper cut piece is going to hit it. If I make any changes down here, that means I'm also going to need to alter the lower cut piece as well. So in order to minimize the amount of changes, I want to make sure that all of my changes are in the upper half of the pattern. So I'm going to start from this point and I want to end right there with my curve. I'm just going to draw in my new line. And then the rest of the cut piece down here should maintain the way it was previously. And then on this side, again, I want to start from that point here and blend it back in by the time I reach that underarm edge. Just sort of moving this around to find what works best, and I think that looks good. So that's going to be my that's going to be my power bar. And if we overlay what the original looked like with the new, you can see how we've really just sort of angled this a little bit further inward so that your strap attachment point is moving more towards your center front. So now that we've made the adjustment to the power bar, we're also going to need to make the adjustment to the upper cut piece because this material right here has changed its position. So when we moved this over here, we moved it by known amount. So in our case, we did it about 1/2 inch. So that's the amount that I need to take away from this upper cut piece over here because it's now included into the power bar. So the easiest way to do that is just going to be to measure over by the same amount. So in my case, 1/2 inch. So I'll make a little line at that 1/2 inch mark. And then all I need to do is connect that new point to my original point down at the bottom. Whoops. Like so. And then the rest of the upper cut piece will remain the same. So here you can see I've overlaid the marker showing the new strap attachment point versus the old strap attachment point. So we've done a really good job of moving this over by 1/2 inch. And because we've added material onto the power bar and we've taken it away from the upper cut piece, you see all the cut piece over here remains completely the same. So this hasn't really been touched at all, but we had to make that modification on this edge of the cut piece because if we had just left it as is, then this cut piece would have been shifted that way. So this is actually one of the most complicated cases of doing a strap attachment moving, and this is what you're going to see on patterns like the Marlboro bra, obviously, which I've demonstrated here, but this will work on the Harriet bra from Cloth Habit or something like the Shelly bra from Pinup Girls. This is basically what you're going to do if you have a vertical piece and a horizontal piece that comprise the entire neckline. Even if the strap is only attached to that vertical piece, you do need to make those adjustments over here as well. So now that we understand sort of the slash and slide method of strap attachment moving, we're going to look at what I call the scooping method. For this, I'm going to be using the Berkeley bra from Orange Lingerie. So here we can see the upper cut piece here. Here's going to be the underarm side, and this is going to be the side that attaches to the wires in the center front, or the bridge. So this one is a really, really easy alteration. So say, just like we did with the Marlboro bra, we want to move the strap 1/4 inch towards our center front. So I'm going to mark a line that is 1/4 inch towards the center front, and then we want to connect that line to where we used to be before. So in effect, we're just going to be cutting off that little sliver of the upper cut piece. And then just like before, everything else stays exactly the same. The only difference being that little triangle that we're taking out from the underarm. Where I have a power bar and then a upper cut piece that either lays on top of the power bar or underneath the power bar. So these are sharing the same underarm curve. So this is the Black Beauty bra. That's a good example of it. And another one would be the Berkeley bra from Orange Lingerie. In this case, we have a power bar that sits underneath the upper cut piece, but they share the same underarm curve. So for this type of bra, I am going to be making the adjustments to the power bar first, and then I'm going to be matching that underarm curve to the upper cut piece. So in this instance, if we overlay the power bar and the upper cut piece, we'll see where they sort of meet or cross. I'm just going to mark that really lightly with my pen. And then, just like we did on the other type of alteration, I'm going to cut it across there. So we're going to mark in this case, we're going to move the straps 1/4 inch towards the center front. So I want to mark guy at 1/4 inch. And then we align it. So just like we did for the Marlboro bra, once we have those two pieces aligned, we would take this known point at the underarm edge and just curve it up to meet the new side of that upper cup piece. Again, this one doesn't have a cross cup seam where it hits, but I kind of want to go from like the middle height of it and curve it up to meet my new edge. And then we would just copy over the rest of the cup piece as normal. So if you look at the difference between the old and new, we can see that it's very similar to the Marlboro bra in how that has just moved over slightly, and then we've redrawn the arc over here. So once you have the power bar changed the way you want it, then you would just align the other cup piece and transfer those changes as well. So in this case, the underarm curve of my upper cup piece looks like this. Looks like that red line, and I would just want to trim it down so that it matches the power bar. So it would be something like cutting off just that little bit from the cup piece. So the last example of how to move your upper cup piece is I'm going to do another one where we have just a single piece on the upper cup. So I am showing the Ululu Cindy pattern here, but this might be the same for instance, the Porcelain Eve pattern cups, or a lot of the full bras will have an upper cup piece that looks like this, and it's more sort of triangular, and you've got your strap attachment in the middle. So this is more full coverage bra. So in this instance, the strap is really close to over the middle, but say you want it, you might want to move it just a little bit if you want it centered over your apex, or maybe you want just a little bit wider of a neckline and you want to move this one out a little bit. Either way, it's the same methodology. Now for this one, because we don't have any cross cup seams to deal with, we can just cut this wherever you want. So in my case, I'm going to cut it sort of below where that strap attachment point is, like this. And then you should just decide how much you want it moved, right? So let's say this is the center front, I believe, of this cup. So if you wanted to move the straps more towards the center front, you would just slide it over 1/4 of an inch this way, let's say, or if you wanted to make a wider neckline, you would slide it over the other direction. Let's do this way. So let's say that I wanted a wider neckline. So I'm going to slide this one over 1/4 of an inch towards my underarm side. And just like we did with all of those power bars and all that things, all you need to do is come up from where you know you were before and just sort of blend it into the new strap attachment point. So in this case, we are losing a little bit of fabric from the lower portion over here, and we're losing a little bit of fabric from the upper portion over here. But we just want to sort of blend those lines in so you get the nice even curve. And then the rest of the cup just gets copied as it would have been before. So if we move this back to where it was originally, you can see that in this case, we've moved the strap attachment towards the underarm just a little bit. If you wanted to move it the other direction, let's just slide it the other direction. And I'll do this one in a different color so it's a little bit easier to see. So in this case, we would sort of lose down here, blend it in to meet our strap attachment, sort of blend it in down here. So here you can see an example of the red is if we had moved it more towards the underarm, and the blue is if we moved it more towards the center front. And this is where it would be normally. So you can just see how easy it is to sort of move that strap attachment point anywhere you want it to be. So I hope you found this information useful and you're able to take this and sort of apply it to whatever bra you might be working on. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.